his occupation. What else was said in that biography? Then social life. It tells he was sociable to outsiders and very intelligent. They were particular about making reference to the fact that he was good to outsiders and sociable to outsiders. But what kind of a father, husband, elder brother, uncle was he to those in his family? Now, let's ask 2 questions. Number 1, what legacy are you preparing to pass on to the next generation? 2, was it appropriate for the deceased family to write such about him in his biography? Everybody, someone once said, is the best mom in the whole world, the best dad in the whole world, the greatest dad in the whole world. If I come back to this life, I'll still have you as a mother. If I come back to this life, I'll still have you as a father. And the person asks, so who are those people that are being wicked to other people? If everybody's mother is the greatest and everybody's father is the greatest, who are the people that frustrate you when you go for one registration or the other at the school board? Who are those people that frustrate you when you go to, apply for something at the civil service? Who are those people that say if you don't give bribe, you will not pass? Who are those people that, are engaged in sex for grades? Who are those people? Think of all the bad things that anybody could ever do. Who are those people? If everybody keeps claiming my father and mother is the greatest. Now, over time, like I said, if you've attended funerals, you hardly see, this is the first time, I'm speaking for myself now, this is the first time I am reading through a burial program, and I'm reading through the biography, and I'm seeing something ill written of the dead. Remember how they say, speak no ill of the dead. And somebody will say, it's the audacity for me. How can you write such about your father? Even if he was not good to you, you try to write something nice. That kind of thing. So was it even appropriate that they had to mention that he was, let me go back to exactly what they said. You left us with no single legacy as your children. Indeed, you were so good to outsiders, but your own home was a total shamble. As a growing child, I regretted having you as a father, but today, look at me, standing to lay you down to rest. Was it right for them to have written it in his biography? He just acted like everything was fine and then go on with the tribute. Sweetest 0923 WhatsApp and Telegram number 0809 030 6416 0809 030 6416. Number once again to call 070 0923 0923. We're live on Twitter handle at Nigeria Info PH, Facebook page Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. So question number 1, what legacy are you preparing to pass on to the next generation? And question number 2, was it appropriate for the deceased family to write such about him in his biography? Seeing that he's not even alive to read whatever it is that they wrote. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Charles.
Charles, welcome.
Okay. I think, just like you said, this is the audacity for me. Yeah. Because over time, we hear people saying a lot of good about the dead, So you begin to ask yourself, who are these people that are wicked? Don't they die? You understand? But it is high time we begin to understand that there are a lot of things we cannot incubate anymore. There are a lot of things you cannot hide anymore. No matter who the person starts to be, I think it is the right thing to do whenever anyone dies, no matter how he has related to you or he relates to you. I think it is the best you give him, that is nature on the biography. I think that's what the children have just did. Because no matter, you can't be hiding a bad man. It's not acceptable. If any day my father dies, I'm not praying for him to die any moment from now. Or any day he dies, anyhow he has lived his life. That is how I am going to state it in his biography. Definitely.
Wow.
And I expect my children to do the same thing to me.
Wow.
It is high time we begin to call a spade a spade. And spare me the fact that you have to tell the public about a bad man. You begin to turn him into a good man because he has died or something, so that people will not misunderstand or no, that's bad. I
Okay.
think that's the best thing to do to anybody who has behaved anyhow.
All right then. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling. Nigerian, for a good afternoon to you. Welcome to the sunny side.
Denise, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's your call for Roma on.
Eto, welcome. Go ahead.
Denise, is a welcome for me to ask such a thing. Is a welcome development. At least for now, if I have my way, I will do the same thing to my own father biography. Because a man who worked for several times before I come to this world is working, and he couldn't pay attention to his children. Married several wives. This one will born one and leave. This one will born one. My mother would have spent my born four. And you couldn't train one to the price, if not for the sake of the mother, who cut up the children. At the end part of it now, he's looking for money from those children. My elder brothers are the rest, they are having sympathy. But I say no. On my own, I don't see anything good for that for me to. It's not no use for me spending my money. A man who brought a woman, the last one brought 2 children to the house. And this same man trained these children from on the crash to the university. And these children, they don't want to use eyes to see. They don't want to set eyes on this man today. Wherever we are, the level that we find ourselves today is because of the grace of God and the grace of our mother. And tomorrow, when you die, they give me opportunity. I will not write what the world needed to know. I will do same. So we should not hide this anymore. This is the hard time that some fathers are not taking the responsibility they're supposed. We should criticize them and let the world know who they are, who they want.
But how does letting the world know who they were, what does it change really? Does it change anything? Does it change the person's character while in the grave? What exactly does it change? Really, because I understand your point. Everybody sees this person as a good person, right? Everybody sees this person as a sweet person. Ironically, for this family, the outside world see him as a great guy, but his family know that he is not a great guy. For some other persons, the family see the person as a great guy, as an awesome mom, an awesome dad. But people outside can clearly tell you that this man is wicked, or this woman is the devil, Jezebel. And this one is wicked past Jezebel. So, really, is it what does writing it in their biography? What does it prove? What point does it prove? What does it actually change? And while you think about the response to that, also think about the response to what legacy you're preparing to pass on to the next generation. We'll go on a commercial break. When we come back, the conversation continues. Do remember sending your WhatsApp messages 0809 0306416 and then call 070-0923-0923. Twitter at Nigerian for PH and Facebook page Nigerian for 90.3 PH. Just stay tuned. funerals, you must have come across this hymn. And it's usually added in the burial program so everyone can sing along. Fading away like the stars of the morning, losing their light in the glorious sun, thus will we pass from the earth and its toiling, only remembered by what we have done. Only remembered by what we have done. Thus would we pass from the earth and its toiling, only remembered by what we have done. Now let's define a biography. A biography is simply an account of someone's life written by someone else. An account of someone's life written by someone else. So it's written based on the knowledge someone has of this person. And it's usually the family members. Now, there is autobiography, an account of a person's life written by that person. So I can decide to write an autobiography of myself. But I do not have that opportunity when I die. Then a biography has to be written for me. I wrote the biography of my late father, by the way. And there were some things I didn't know, or some things were pretty sketchy for me. So I had to revert to the oldest person in the family who knew from when he was born to a particular extent to write those things. And then I continued from where the person stopped up until the person died. And those accounts given to me, I had to confirm from other persons. So the person had written the name he was initially called, which he had changed and had stopped bearing the name. So officially on all his documents, that name was nowhere to be found. So adding that name to the biography did not even make sense at all. So I took off the name Zacchaeus, and it did not exist. It stopped existing when he was still very small, so it didn't make any sense. Now, if a biography is supposed to be written by someone else, it means the person is supposed to write what they know about you. True? Should the person only write good things about you? Should they sieve and write only the good and not the bad? If you were a ritualist, shouldn't it be included that you were a ritualist? If you were an armed robber, shouldn't it be included? Notorious kidnapper, shouldn't it be included that you were a notorious kidnapper? If you were a wife beater, a bad wife, a wicked stepmother, a wicked woman, a bad woman, a stingy person, so as much as you want to write the sweet things, loving and caring husband to our mother, loving and caring father to us, and everyone you come in contact with, your light shines so bright that anyone that came around you was illuminated by your light. Oh, Papa, you indeed left a legacy for us, your children, to live by. In fact, the shoes are too heavy for us to carry. As your children, we are indeed proud of you. We love you. We will miss you. But God loves you the most. Continue to rest in the bosom of the Lord. So there are tributes. Tributes are different. Biography is different. What if someone decides not to write a tribute because they don't have anything good to write about you? Or what if someone decides to add in the tribute, you were a bad wife, but I forgive you and I love you, and I'm going to miss you? Think about it. Now this brings us back to the very, very core question. And that is, what legacy are you preparing to pass on to the next generation? If we will only be remembered by what we have done. Today, we have veterans. Okay, we have people who still receive posthumous awards. Okay, they're no more, but they left a legacy. And you cannot think of the fight against illegal and substandard food and drugs in Nigeria, and the name Dora Akunyili will not come to mind. You cannot think about those that fought the fight against Ebola, and the name Stella wouldn't come to mind. There's certain things you cannot think of in Nigeria, and names will not come to mind. You cannot think of literature in Nigeria, and you are not mentioning the likes of Chinua Achebe. You're not mentioning the likes of Elechi Amadi. You're not mentioning the likes of Wole Soyinka. You're not mentioning the likes of Olalorotimi. You're not mentioning. You can't think of oil and gas in this country and some names will not come to mind. You cannot think of richest man in Nigeria, Africa, and you wouldn't think of the likes of Aliko Dangote. There's some names that you cannot just forget. You can't think of broadcasting in Nigeria, and for those of you who've followed broadcasting over time, some names will not come to mind. These are legacies. So in your church, there are times when, something happens and you say, hey, if only Mama was still alive, that woman would have organized this thing, oh, if only Mr. Emeka was still here, that man would have. So in your church, in your house, your compound, your neighborhood, your place of work, everywhere you go to, people will definitely remember you for something. But what do you want to be remembered by? I think this little explanation I have done drives home the conversation. If you're just joining us, by the way, welcome to the sunny side. We're having a conversation about legacy after death, and I'm asking, what legacy are you preparing to pass on to the next generation? And for a family that were so bold to write that their late father was good to outsiders, but his home was a total shamble. In his biography, was it appropriate for them to write such about the father? Was it appropriate for the deceased family to write such about him in his biography? 070-0923-0923 and WhatsApp and Telegram number 0809-030-6416. We're live on Twitter at Nigeria Info PH is our Twitter handle, and Facebook page is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Nigeria Info, good afternoon. Welcome to the sunny side. I'm sorry I have to let you go. Please do well to turn down the volume of your radio set when you call. And we lost that call. Nigerian for good afternoon. And we lost this call as well. So let's see. I'm moving on to WhatsApp. I'll come to Facebook messages shortly. Alright. Nigerian for good afternoon. Turn off your radio set, please. Can you hear me? I'm sorry I have to let you go. Nigerian for good afternoon. I'm sorry I have to let you go. Do well to turn down the volume of your radio set when you call. Nigerian for good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Go ahead.
Roger.
Hello?
Yes, I'm Obojan Justice.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
It is so sad that in this part of the country, people don't actually take time to look about the modality for their own life and the legacy to leave behind. How can you capitalize much on your father who have done his best and then gone to the land of sin no more? He has so much reputation, only for you to come back home that we being the children have not seen anything good in most of the good work he did in outside. It is so sad. If Nigeria is to be a better place, let's stop the blaming game. You blame your father to the grave that is responsible for your not doing well. And at the moment, you are not also doing well. Your children will also blame you. Leave your father, leave your mother, start building your own life. Our past leader has failed us. That was the language to come into the power. And when you come into the power, you also join the past leader to fail Nigeria again. All graduates of University of blaming game. It is so sad. Thank you.
But this is not a blame game. I don't know if you understand what was said, but maybe I should read it out to you again.
I understand what you are saying. Okay. I understand all that you are saying.
So basically, you left with no single legacy for your children. You were so good to outsiders, but your own home was a total shamble. As a growing child, I regretted having you as a father. Turn off your radio set, please. Please, I beg you. Thank you. As a growing child, I'm sorry I have to let you go. As a growing child, I regretted having you as a father. But today, look at me standing to lay you down to rest. Is it a blame game, really? Or is it the fact that you were fixing homes outside? It's just like people were busy fixing their other people's marriages, but their own marriages is crashing. You were busy advising children outside to be respectful, but your own children are literally going bad. If anybody from outside comes and says, I don't have money, you give. But whenever we come to you as your children and your wife to say, and give us money, you tell us you don't have. So you were busy answering a good name outside. And everybody was praising you, oh, good man, great man. But you couldn't put your house in order. Is that a blame game, really? I want to know. I mean, there's a difference between a blame game and what happened here. Or is it one and the same thing? I would also like to know. Someone says, I want to live a sincere and caring father for my family members, especially the immediate one, because I know that it is not impossible for me to satisfy all. Aminu send that in. Someone says, I will leave a great footprint for the next generation. I share in their pains. If I share my own story, you will cry. But I'm trying to be the best daddy. Clef Austin Roderick send that in. Good afternoon, Denise. If we need an improved society, we may not need a window dressing or placet the readers of a biography to state facts out of the kilter. Things need to be stated the way it is. If a person did not do well, state it. It is the way it is. What it will change is that those living will do things right, because their doings will be reflected on their biographies. Okoroma Godwin Chooks from Erema Community. Nigerian for good afternoon. Welcome.
Dennis, good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
It took over. Please permit me to stand on one of the existing protocols of one of
which
the
protocol?
that we are blaming the father on the dead man and the politicians. I want to say it. Many of us will go to church. When we go to church, we raise the prayer point. They pray for your leaders. I want to put it to you and to that man that nobody wants to hear that prayer in any Nigerian man. So as it stands, I will not. You didn't look after me. You did not care. No fatherly love for me. I went out to survive in the war and conquered days of your burial. And you asked me to bring my hard-earned money to fund your funeral. I will boycott it. That is me. It's good to be played. Don't come to the national radio to pretend. That is why my legacy. I didn't have a family, a fatherly love. I pray and I believe that I will give it to my children in every aspect of life. I will try my best. Which is I'm trying now, because I have children.
I think Eto is coming from a place of experience. He sounds really hurt, and I don't know, but let's hear from this caller. Nigerian for good afternoon. Turn off your radio.
Good afternoon, Didi.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Chinke Danieli Mogeto Zako.
You're welcome. Go
The
ahead.
legacy I want to leave is a humble life. Let me give you instance. The prominent people that I know. Did you know that Donald Duke, former Cross River State Governor, that throughout his tenure, 8 years as a governor, all chieftaincy titles, he rejected it. And up to today, he is still Mr. Duke. Do you know that the present Labour Party presidential candidate, that in Catholic, they gave him the one they call star. So I don't know how they do it there, but he's supposed to be a star. And by now, as a former Anambra State governor, he's supposed to be a chief, but he is Mr. Peter Obi. This is the legacy I am leaving for my people. I am not just trying to say anything. I'm talking to you now. I've been offered a chieftaincy title in 2003. So the legacy I want to leave for those who that know me is that at least they will say, oh, do you know that this is your station? If I die now, they will say, oh, we used to hear his voice on Nigeria Info. Yes. So that's the legacy I want to leave. Thank you very much.
All right, then. Thank you, too. A good justice says, ironically and sad enough, it's devil legacy that are left behind in this part of the world. Imagine publicly knowing wicked, diabolical, and evil proclaimed people being given an exalted position. Nigerian for good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Didi Tennis.
Good afternoon.
Comrade EUNS, calling from Ushamu Onega.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Didi, I only be remembered by the truth I have said. I want to be remembered by the truth that I have said. If the young man, what he said is exactly, because it will not be proper for you to interpret what you think that is not exactly what happened. If that is the truth, he should say it just like he has written it plain and clear. And that should also be a lesson to some people who are alive today to look at their life and ask themselves, what would they say after me? That will help in reshaping lives. But where people live just like you stated here, there are people in the office who are taking bribes. These people don't allow you to progress in life. But from all the biography we have seen good people, wonderful people, people that will favor anyone, even the ones they don't know. So after praising all those things, and we still have this difficult situation in life, we have tough people in offices. I think it will make sense for us to say the truth. The truth will guide us.
Say the truth, and the truth will guide you. Nigerian for good afternoon. Welcome to the sunny side.
Yeah, Mr. Zion, good afternoon to you.
Mr. Zion, you're welcome.
You know, when it comes to this issue of death, most of us, we don't know the implication of some comments we make to the dead people on their dying day, on the day they are being made to lay to rest. You know, and I look at it that, well, it's not their fault, but it's just because they were never taught. I don't know, have you watched this movie, animated movie they call Mpoko Loco?
No, I haven't.
Anthony Gazelle.
I haven't.
When you watch that movie, you listen to the song, you transcribe it to English, you will know that there's a lot of things we do to the dead people. We are even weighing them. They must steal from you. But at that moment, they are transcended into another level. Then while you remember them here on earth, so they will be treating them there. In the Catholic belief, we call it purgatory. So they will be treated there. If you eulogize them, you celebrate them here, they will celebrate them there also. Yes, your father may not be doing too good to you here on earth. Besides, what else are you expecting from your father? Didn't he train you to school? That is all you owe you. Your parents owe you nothing. Nothing. Most parents today have led their children into a lot of problems because they pampered them, they gave them everything, they provide everything. Even job, they sign signature for them under our recommendation. Those things are wrong. Some children can never come out with a product. But when a child is being allowed to found his own path, he become a great man. You allow him after graduation, let him go. In fact, after secondary school, your father owe you nothing.
Mr. Zion, the question is not what our parents owe us. The questions are very simple. What legacy are you preparing to pass on to your next generation? And was it appropriate for the deceased family to write such about him in his biography? It may not necessarily be about sending him to school and not sending him to school. Hello?
The truth is this, like I told you, or I'm trying to say, I wish I've been saying, it's all about the legacy we're talking about. If you want to put me personally, Mr. Zion, what is your legacy? This is my legacy. This is my legacy. Talking to you already now is my legacy.
Oh.
I won't look at anything.
So people should remember you as the man that always calls Nigeria info to talk.
This way, be honest to yourself. Won't you feel it? Won't you record it? Even when you grow old, we grow old together. Won't you tell your children about this Mr. Zion if you meet me and my family somewhere else?
This guy used to call Oh my God.
For your information, there are people that, okay, they are hearing the Zion. They hear Zion. When they meet me, some of them bow down to greet me. I'm telling you, they bow down to greet me. Even in my office, let me be honest to you. Most people don't know I'm the Mr. Zion.
Is it that they cannot recognize your voice or what?
When they recognize my voice, that's when they come ask. Some directors have done that, but my boss, he knows so much. He's so proud about that. That is my boy, Zion. Mr. Zion, come here, let's go out. The truth is this. The legacy you drop does not necessarily mean people should come and benefit. Because of my legacy, they are giving them employment. Because of my legacy, they are gaining them admission. No! The legacy is what I have done and can be related to you. What I have done that people can benefit based on recommendation or recommendation, association, pronunciation, and also effective relationship.
All right.
It's for relationship.
Mr.
So
Zion,
if your father
Mr.
created
Zion,
a relationship for you,
Mr. Zion, long story short, when your children grow up, they would remember you. Say, is my father used to call Nigeria for every time. He used to call on Didi show.
the mere fact that I'm even calling on radio
that's
station,
what they should remember. Okay.
it has also made me to be a good citizen, a good character.
All
So
right.
that it will be very wrong when somebody say, we saw Mr. That Zion driving against traffic, he will not come on radio to talk that. I don't want that to happen. So it has made me to be a good citizen. So that is a legacy for my children.
All right, legacy for Mr. Zion's children is he always calls on Nigeria Info to comment on Nigeria Info programs. All right then, Okukwe from Ido. 1. Strive to keep a memorable legacy. 2. The position of the family members of the deceased is a moral lesson to everyone in life. A tribute to biography does not necessarily suggest good character, hence a justification of the position of the family members of the deceased. I commend them for their bravery to change the narrative. Good afternoon, Didi. I may not have silver nor gold to live as legacy, but my ability to care with the little I have is enough legacy. The child who wrote ill about the father's biography is also living a legacy and a welcome development. He decides to be real and honest. With this, every responsible adult will sit up. If I have my way, I will also do same for someone when he will be no more. Christy from Port Harcourt. Good afternoon, Ma. I love that biography. The writer and family that allowed it deserves recognition. It's time the world rise above sentiment. Hearing this alone is helping me, a youth, to think of how to live, knowing that people have started to say what it is. So kudos to the family, and this will also help the family to turn a life against copying their father, who left no good legacy for them. Thanks, I'm Michael. I am not in this world to live up to your expectations, neither are you here to live up to mine. Peter Church et al. The dead does not know or hear what the people alive are saying about him and care less as well. Those alive are those to borne the shame of humiliation and disgrace. If your father is bad, leave him to his creator. I bet you the children will be the ones to face the shame of what they have written about their father. Posterity will tell. Francis from NK. Port Harcourt, Didi, sorry, please, what happened to Chat Station? You were anchoring in oh my God. Are we still on Chat Station talk? I'm sorry, I'm in a new relationship now with the sunny side. Get used to it, thank you. I think the society is used to reading lies in the biography. What the young man did is the honest truth of what he felt about his dad. My name is Enwa from Elakaya. Good afternoon. When an evil person dies, what awaits that soul is far worse than the wrong things that could have been said against him on his funeral. Hence, I think there is no need mentioning his errors, for it changes nothing. Except if the person died on the scene of the crime or evil, then we would advise that no sweet lines should be said about him, Mr. Chima. So let's assume an armed robber dies in a shootout with the police. When you are writing, we the families of sadly announce the death of our dearly beloved, our dearly criminal brother, uncle, father, son, who died in a police shootout when he went to rob XYZ bank. Funeral arrangement. Guys, stop it. It doesn't come out right, really. It doesn't sound right. I don't know, maybe because nobody has ever done so, but criminals die. and they are buried by their family members. And most times, nobody gets to tell you exactly how the person died. But now that you've said it, I'm thinking, would one family come out and say, "Oh, this is how our son died," and not tell them he died after a brief illness or he was shot or something, and they did not tell the real details? Anyway, this one says, I think biography should be about the life story starting from birth down to adulthood, stating all the achievements and establishments of that person, but about the positive or negative character shouldn't be given in full details, as it may indirectly or directly have impact on the family at the long run. I am Moses from Elele. Thank you, Moses. Back to Facebook messages now. I'm out of time. Abdul says, in a country like Nigeria, it should be nothing but terrible legacy. It would be very difficult for corrupt elites and the politicians to pass good legacy to the next generation. The next generation's legacy is bribery and corruption, killings, smuggling, and terrorism. Oloyede Jackery says, hi, Diddy, the dead does not know what people say about him or her once they are gone, so no need for that. They should have let the world know who he was when he was alive. Well, that's what he did. Right, that's what he did. So, final commercial break, and then we come back, we round off the conversation. Rivers Today comes up at 3, and thereafter it will be Hard Facts with Constant Mega. I don't think I'll be able to take more calls, but I have a few things to say though when we come back. Just stay tuned.